Hello everyone, this is Ryan from the ProfitTrailer team, also known as RF Radio on the Discord support server as well as elsewhere on the internet. In this video I'm going to be going over the general settings of your DCA configuration for ProfitTrailer. So without further ado, let's go take a look at your DCA configuration. If we just go up here to the top menu, mouse over Config, and click on DCA. Now if you are unsure of what these settings do here, always remember you can consult the wiki just by clicking the wiki link down at the bottom of the page. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see what we're looking at. As I said, whoa, too far. As I said before, we're only concerning ourselves with the general settings for this video. So we're going to start here at the top line, default DCA max cost. This is the total amount of a coin that you can allow, or the total amount that you want to spend on a coin for the total DCA levels that you have. So if you have a coin that enters your DCA and you have it set to max buy times of 5 like I do, so it'll buy up to 5 times in DCA, then your max cost should be of a sufficient level to cover all 5 buys. Okay, so this isn't the same as initial cost in pairs. Instead, this is going to be the total amount of your base currency that you want to allow the bot to use to DCA per coin. Okay, this is not total, it's the total outright, this is total per coin. So remember to divide it up based on how much you anticipate your coins entering DCA. If you leave DCA max cost at 0, however, as it's set here, it will use unlimited number of funds to DCA. It will not care about how much funding it uses per coin. So bear that in mind. If you don't set a max cost, and you can also define this as max cost percentage, by the way. If you don't set either one, then what's going to happen is the bot will just say, I'm going to take as much of your balance as you have available, if need be. So just bear that in mind. Default DCA max buy times. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is the maximum number of buys that the bot will make in order to dollar cost average any coin downward. So you can set this as many times as you want or as few times as you want. However, if you set a 0, this is another trigger to go unlimited number of buys. Okay, so just like the default DCA max cost, if it's set to 0, it uses unlimited funds. Well, it'll use all of your balance. It doesn't care. And default DCA max buy times, if you set that to 0, it will buy unlimited number of times until you run out of balance. Then you have DCA keep balance. This is how much coin you want to hold back and not let the bot trade with. Okay. There is another line down below that I prefer to use called the keep balance percentage, just because it's easier to keep track of the amount by percentages, at least for me. If you use the keep balance percentage, then this DCA keep balance must be set to 0. Okay, or you can comment out the line. The same can be said here for the top line, the default DCA max cost percentage. If you just have this other line, or this original line set in here, default DCA max cost equals, then you have to set that to 0 if you set the max cost percentage to a specific number, and vice versa. If you want to use max cost, let's just go 0.5, right? And then your default DCA max cost percentage must be 0. So anytime there is a commensurate value between one original statement and a percentage statement that follows it, then only one of those can be used at a time. So let's take a look here at your log. There really isn't anything here that can be used or that can influence your log itself except for the max buy times. I did neglect to mention in the prior video, I'm just gonna not save these at the moment. I did forget to mention in the prior video that on your DCA page there is a little icon that will show up right next to your average price that tells you how many times this coin has been rebought in your DCA. Okay, so the first time it'll just show a little, it would be about probably a yellow square that says 1, and then the next one will be 2, and then 3. So depending on how many number of times it's been rebought, it'll tell you right here. That in a roundabout way is related to this max buy times here, because once it reaches that number, it will not go past it. But that's really the only part of this general settings that would even be related to anything in the DCA log, because none of these are actually visible settings on the DCA log. These are just meant here. These are just set here to be defining the limits that the bot can use for DCA. So that's about it for general settings. There really isn't much here in terms of the general settings for DCA. In the next video, we're going to get into the buy filter settings, and there's a little bit more to that than there is for general. So if you like what you see here in this video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Please consider subscribing and hit that subscribe button if you like. And if you want to get any updates as to when we post new content on the channel, go ahead and hit the little bell icon right next to the subscribe button. As always, stay safe, happy trading, and we will see you on the next video covering the DCA buy filter settings. If you need any help with your ProfitTrailer client, please consult the wiki at wiki.profittrailer.com. And if you still have more questions, don't hesitate to join us over on the Discord support server following the link on your screen.